Hi there. I'm just continuing on the same subject that we were talking about in my earlier video, which is about learning styles and the fact that there are three kinds of learning styles. There's visual, auditory, and tactile. And I'm just going to give you a little more information about that and try to kind of bring it all back together. So personally, to just give you the lowdown on myself, when I took the test, which by the way is I gave you the link to it in an earlier video, and I'll give you a link to it again down here. But I took the test and it says that visually is the highest one for me, and that's 45%. But it also has auditory or hearing for 35% and tactile or touching is 20%. So obviously I'm a mix. So what that means to me and to you is you're going to find that while your scores may differ from mine, you'll probably find that you have a little bit of everything. And so what we have to do to take this forward is to know what our own style is, and that there are other people that learn things differently than we do. All right. That being said, let me give you just some basic tips as to what you can do. And the first way the first learning style I'm going to cover is visual, because hey, that's my main focus for me personally. So I'm going to start there and then we'll go from there. So if you primarily are a visual learner like myself, it's better to turn notes into pictures, charts, maps, obviously something you can see. It's easier to focus on a big picture and then get it down into the details. To use color codes, use flashcards. If you're into audio or hearing learning, mostly, record lectures, then listen to them. Repeat the material out loud so that you can hear it in your own words. You do well in study groups. You also do well if you read textbooks aloud. And so obviously hearing is going to be a primary thing for you. Now, if you're a tactile, hands-on, kinesthetic, whatever you want to call it, some things you need to know is you're going to have to take study breaks. You need to learn things while you're doing something else. And so there are ways around it. Now, what does all of this... Oh, and it also, as far as tactile, you do better learning while you're standing. And you also do better in classes where an instructor will give you things to do or suggest demonstrations and field work. So that's kind of the three in just a brief nutshell. Where you go from here. If whatever your biggest portion of your own learning style is, obviously you need to learn how to get around that and make the most of it. Secondly, if you, like myself, have at times been a teacher or a presenter or a speaker or any of those things, you need to understand that in order for everybody to get the most out of what you're presenting, you need to present it in more than one way. Sometimes that's not going to be possible, and I know that all too well. But when you have the opportunity and you have the leeway, you might just want to incorporate, obviously, seeing like this. The thing that kind of kills me, and it probably may be a little confusing to you, is because, for instance, I can watch a video about something and grasp what it tells me, but I don't retain it. I have to write things down and take notes from that video or that live presentation in order to remember it. I have to have have the notes. I also do get a little bit of it by what I hear, but again, I don't really retain it unless I take those notes and things. So that's what I'm saying. Use that for your own personal best interest, but just know that if you're teaching someone, you're going to need to use maybe some visual tactics, because you may be standing up there, but you may need to, have some notes that you can hand out, maybe have some things that are color-coded. Also, if you can think of something that folks can do that'll reinforce it, you know, where maybe you have points you're trying to make and there's 4 points and you say, okay, I want you to do number 1, which is listen to me. Number 2 is write it down. Number 3 is tell someone about it. And number 4 is practice all of these things. And by getting people to do that, those that are tactile may learn it better than they might if you didn't have them do that. So in other words, just kind of take all of this, kind of let it run through your brain, and next time you're giving a presentation or a talk or whatever, maybe it'll help so that you can reach people that you might not have reached otherwise. And I hope that in some small way this may have helped you. I hope you have a great day. Thanks a bunch. Bye-bye.